Welcome back to Etherflux Hunters. It's Dungeons and Dragons in Space with Bounty Hunters. I'm CT Avis. I'm your Dungeon Master, and these fellas are your players and your hunters. Gentlemen, we meet again. Good to see everybody.
First time, not the last time. Not the first time either.
No.
Sorry.
We are back here in the dungeon here. The dungeon that we've been trekking through is an old Yalen-Wutani research center, laboratory. You have discovered untold horrors of mechanical and undead nature. You so far have successfully dealt with those. Your mission, which you accepted, was to find the gold dragon Wutani in the third level of this dungeon. So far, you've had your work cut out passing the obstacles of the first level, including a temporally sealed door, not temporary sealed door, temporally sealed door, to get down to the next level. You are on the clock here. You had a total of 8 hours when you arrived. You lost a couple of hours, hard to say how much, caught in the time loop. And now you are looking at a new time room, but this way you might have the key for it. Now, before we get into that, though, I did ask each of you to prepare a little intro of yourselves, of your characters, and just to kind of catch up any audience into like who's who and like what your character is motivated by. Is there anybody who would like to start that? I know I do feel like a teacher giving homework.
Sure.
All right, Tim, thank you.
Okay. Templeton Benedict, the face of the party, is a half-elven multi-class bard with a side of rogue. Of slighter build with well-groomed light brown hair, tan skin, and piercing gray eyes. He's 46 years old, wearing very clean leather armor that looks like a fine tailored suit. Having just resolved a very large question of his past, the resolution of what happened to his former adventuring party, Templeton is a little more self-assured than he had been in the past. Currently, the idea of harming the corporation of Yalen-Wutani seems to be just and right to Templeton. Yalen-Wutani were the antagonists of his final mission with his old team, who then corrupted that team, in his opinion, as well as everything else they seemed to touch, from the weather in Murngarath to the homes around the Wizards on the Shore, and potentially even Arnos and Corvex's homelands. Templeton sees a moral justification in their current path.
Excellent. A+. Who's next? Bob's touching his nose, so he wants to go next.
No, that's not it.
Listen, I'm the bard. It's okay if mine's a little more eloquent. Just
Yeah, what he said.
How about John?
Sure, I can go. Let's see here. I play Abraxas Kilgannon of the clan Gilgannon of the brewery Kilgannon. He is a blue-skinned tiefling armor-based artificer who hails from the city of St. Botolph Stone near Kenmore Square on the planet of Tremontaine, a planet in a completely different galaxy or dimension or ether sphere from where all of the other hunters are from and where they currently adventure. Abraxas was happy being a brewmeister at his brewery near the corner of Ipswich and Lansdowne when it was suddenly attacked and destroyed by a demon, hell-bent on Abraxas' demise. The attack did kill his only family, his mother. Abraxas only survived because of the actions of his friend and brewery security, Retzout, one of the other hunters in the group. Without warning, the two of them were transported to the planet Everlight in this ethersphere for reasons unknown to the both of them, a mystery that the two have been trying to solve ever since joining the Hunters Guild. Although Abraxas is certainly not the strongest, he may very well be the smartest guy in the room, though a casual observer would never know it. His demeanor can best be described as socially awkward, bordering on the offensive. It remains unknown, even to his friends in the Hunters Guild, whether or not his social ineptitude stems from purposeful action or genuine inelegance. He has a penchant for all things mechanical, alchemical, and arcane. If it has gears or wires or runs on steam, Abraxas wants nothing more than to take it apart and figure out how to make it blow something else up. While seemingly dissociative, Abraxas actually has a very strong belief system and faith, primarily worshipping Gond and Ilmater. It is due to this devotion to Ilmater that he believes in his heart that by working with the hunters, he can actually help others in need, since he was not able to suffer the burden of his family's curse, which resulted in his mother's death.
Outstanding. A plus. I think I learned new information there, so if you want to send that my way, I appreciate that. Help me incorporate a few things. How about Matt?
Yes, as soon as I kept double clicking when I was muting myself. I was like, yeah, okay. Anyway, I play Quiplik Strongjaw. He is a Tortle Cleric Druid multi-class. Sort of meant to be more of a shamanic type. That was the idea behind the multi-class.
Shaman.
Shaman. Thank you. He's 4'2". I had to look at my own character sheet to remember how tall he was. He weighs 400 plus pounds. He's got scars all up and down his arms, and he's growing like a colony of moss and lichen on his shell. In his pre-bounty hunter days, he plied his trade as a hunter and a fisherman, occasionally aboard large commercial fishing ships, and he has the demeanor of a salty sea dog. He hails from the planet Tortuga, which is in the Hagobad system of beast space. If you know, you know. His mother is one of the chief healers of his village, and that is where he learned some of his healing magic. He also spent many years studying under the tutelage of a master Ott, an old wizened druid who hails from his village as well, who he is occasionally called away from his adventures with the hunters to help Master Ott and the village out. Somewhat different from most clerics that you see in D&D, Quiplik does not worship any particular god, because the people of his village have a tradition of ancestor worship and communication with their ancestors through speaking with ghosts, which is actually the religion of his people. Yeah, that's Quip.
Excellent. Right on. Wonder when he'll get sucked away to see Master Out again.
Who knows?
Let's see. Who's next?
You ought to know.
I heard that.
Folders
I'm gonna
fall.
Nerf gun you the next time I see you.
Rid? Tell us about Arnulf?
Sure. Arnulf is son to the matriarch of his tribe, the Clubs of the Savannah on the planet Theros. He's a simple individual, much like many of his people. He finds that the gods are actually more of a problem than anything else, and many of the worst things can be attributed to them and their worship. So he's a kind of gold furred color with darker brown mane, Simba colored. Barbarian of the wild magic variety, and kind of going on this whole thing as a sort of test of his might and path of glory for his tribe. But along the way, with dealing with whaling here. He's decided pretty much that, yeah, these guys suck. They need to be destroyed, especially now that they're kind of messing with his tribe some and whatnot.
All right. Thank you. Very good. Very good. Rick.
All right. My character is Retsout World Star. He's a warforged fighter slash gunslinger. Kind of a bit of a gentleman. Kind of has clothes himself kind of a little dapper there. He's got a thing for his revolvers. It's his weapon of choice. As far as where he's comes from, he's not sure. Still doesn't know. We're still trying to put the pieces of that together. It seems like as we adventure, we find little bits and pieces here and there of possibilities of where he came from, how long as well. Kind of recently discovered that his age may be significantly older than he originally thought. As Abraxas had mentioned, he kind of appearing in random places, and part of this thing that's going on with him is kind of like dropping in and out of not your environment, but just kind of like teleporting to random places at random times. Not that often, but it does happen without explanation, and just another thing that is part of the puzzle that is Retsout. So again, finding some of those pieces while we've infiltrated Yelawutani and trying to figure out everything going on here. He hopes to kind of put that to bed. Something conclusive that is going to give him that ability to figure these things out and truly understand where he is, where he's come from, who he is, and what's to come.
Thank you very much. That was excellent. And Bob.
Present. I have more. I do, I swear.
Would somebody care to describe Bob's character to us from your character's perspective? No.
That's frightening. Well, all right. Some of this is going to be new information for everybody because they don't know a whole lot about my character. It's Corvex Navarre, known as Corvex the Mad. His parents were silversmiths and jewelers. They left the plane of air for the planet of Needham. It's a planet usually seen as a launching point for the Aarakocra. I'm an Aarakocra. Click. So the Aarakocra who leave the planes, they land on this planet, and he had a younger brother and mother and a father. His younger brother fell ill. They didn't know what the problem was, and using his skills, Corvex tried in vain to save him and failed, which broke him. And so he turned more to necromancy to try to get answers. He was scooped up by the corporation as a healer, and he pretty quickly just disassociated. That's where the group found him, is at the corporation, not really caring about whether or not his co-workers lived or died, and they were all dead anyway. He did lose a co-worker, not through the hunters, but he lost a co-worker just prior to them showing up, and so he is haunted by the spirits of his dead brother, his dead co-worker and also his mother, who killed herself via suicide bombing the corporation. His father lost his mind and was ushered back to the plane of air, and Corvex continued on to maybe get some answers.
That is some new information.
Yeah. He has multiple personalities, but not really. He's being inhabited by either his brother or his coworker. You're not really sure who you're talking to most of the time, but you can kind of get clues.
Yep.
For the party, I'll tell you, it's his brother who doesn't know what money is.
We should have thought about doing a
Interesting.
Calistar hybrid or something. That's actually what, remember our old player Josh, he ran a Calistar.
No.
But, well, guys, thank you very much. I did ask you to do that last minute, and everyone delivered hugely. I just feel like it was good for everyone to sort of, if anybody out there watching, it's good for you to kind of get to know the characters a little bit other than the opening scroll that I run. Plus, it's good for you guys to talk to each other about these sorts of things so you sort of understand. I mean, your characters may not know all this, but it kind of helps you understand maybe the dynamics of the team more. Not that there's been any problems with that. I think you guys are doing great. But it's more information. Why not? So again, thank you very much. So let's get into it.
Get to know the characters before the TPK.
Oh no.
Join us for the exciting final chapter of Aetherflux Hunters.
And what are your characters' last wishes? I mean, no,
The can gets eaten by a dragon.
Introduction and finale.
I really want that to hit home. Okay, so you have found the room number 8 here. This is labeled the Temporal Vault. You step into the Temporal Vault, a medium-sized chamber infused with an unsettling aura, as if time itself is holding its breath. A faint echo, tick-tock, resonates in the air, creating a rhythm that seems to pulse with the very essence of the room. Surrounded by a clutter of neglected alchemical devices, you can almost feel the weight of countless hours already spent here. The large pedestal in the center hums softly, its glow casting eerie shadows that dance along the walls, while a shimmering void beckons from the window at the far end, hinting at the endless cycle of moments yet to come. A heavy truth hangs in the air. Any attempt to advance will lead only to futility unless a certain depth of understanding is reached. And this sounds familiar to you. This is very similar to another room that you discovered earlier, where you got caught in a time loop, but you did solve that by recovering the vial of time essence. Moving from that room, you went to a different door that had some sort of temporal seal on it. You found some notes from the Archmage Yalen that suggested that the only way that door could be opened is by finding the Temporal Vault, solving it, and then going back to that doorway. This is that room, you believe. It's greatly disused. There's cobwebs and dust everywhere. Old alchemical devices strewn about. There is an enormous wall opposite the entrance. And instead of seeing the moon surface that this base is located on, you're seeing some sort of indeterminate void. It seems to sort of shimmer and warp time as you look at it. There is a pedestal in the center. What would you like to do?
Abraxas, are you the one who's hanging on to the vial of time stuff? Time juice? Whatever it was?
Actually, I think that's
Tim, if you were talking, I think
yeah.
you're muted. Sorry, bro.
Actually, I think that was Templeton.
Yeah, I got the timey-wimey, juicy-woosey.
Oh, Templeton has it. Okay.
Templeton with the time juice.
Also, congratulations. Your video doesn't look laggy to me anymore.
Yeah, you're normal.
So
Yeah.
who knows? But hey, it's better now. So
Yay. Okay. I got the juice, but this ain't my shtick. I don't know. Put it in the put the vial in the hole. I don't know.
I mean, that does seem the obvious answer, unless someone else has a brilliant idea. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Oh, you said brilliant. I'm sorry. You said brilliant idea.
I would also accept pretty good, not terrible ideas. Okay, so I am ruling out batshit insane.
Oh,
ideas. So
I'm
yeah,
out.
sorry about that. Sorry about that. Maybe next time.
Right.
Yeah, so there.
After
so there's a
after a few drinks, maybe.
Have you talked to the vial?
drink it.
What does the vial want?
Drink it.
Drink it. Drink it, you coward.
I had not thought about
That's right.
that.
Drink it. Let the invasive thoughts win.
But what does it taste like?
Peppermint.
Maybe it has to be processed.
Bittersweet memories. So there's a pedestal in the room with some shimmery stuff about it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alchemical stuff, dust, cobwebs, no obvious other doors, right?
Correct.
Or doors even. Okay.
You're not hobbits. You're not in Mordors.
Aha! We are in Lustos. Is there an obvious place to place an obvious spot? Okay. Is there an obvious spot to place a vial such as our time juice?
Yes. In my attempt to be goofy here, I've screwed up the stream.
Dumbledore, I was kidding. Don't drink it.
Are we getting any feelings about this room?
There we go.
Searching my feelings.
Okay, feelings.
You know them to be true.
Oh yeah, the stream was wonky there for a second.
Heavy
It's
truth
fixed now. You got it.
is the main feeling. Something feels that if you don't get this right, you will not be advancing. Certainly not linearly. There's a sort of sense of futility, though you're not quite sure why that is. Perhaps it's tied to the possibility of failure. Anything else? Please give me some sort of skill check.
I'd like to see if there's anything about the pedestal that would either move, like a dial or a setting, as opposed to just a hole to put the vial in.
There is an indentation for the vial, but so while Corvax is searching his
do his
feelings,
perception. Yep.
you can prepare an investigation check, Abraxas.
Okay.
Gonna just see if the if it looked like it actually fit in, like the vial would fit in there, or if it would have to be poured in or whatever.
Okay. Let me see the rolls here. Corvax with a perception of 11. That's about what I read is about what you perceived. You might want to. You have better insight because you're really asking kind of a feeling question.
It's about the same, but I think I could roll insight if you want.
Okay.
Wow, that rooked me hard because that was a 19.
Yeah. I'll do that
I-
too.
I hate the fact that they build those animations in there. It's just as bad
I
as
know.
in real life when you're like, oh, I'm gonna roll. No, I'm not rolling good.
Actually, a way so that only the number appears, and I did that for a while, and it
Mhm.
does leave out the anticipation.
Patient. Um,
You're
I
fired.
think Quiplic's gonna roll an insight too, as he's looking the room over.
Was my thing actually heard about wanting to check the hole?
Yeah, you said you wanted
The-
to see if it was
the
meant for the vial to be placed or
yes.
for the liquid to be poured. I did hear
Yeah.
you say
Yeah, I think you and Abraxas were kind of both checking that out. Quiplick with a 15 for your insight. You're fairly certain that if you guys get this wrong, much like the previous room that was much like this one, you will be caught in a time loop again. Your ancestors are sort of indicating something cyclical here. That if this is botched, you're going to be caught in a time loop.
Aye, lads, I have a strong feeling that if we do not get this right, we're going to be trapped in a time loop once again. So it behooves us to be cautious.
All right.
Yeah, but what if this time loop was like the backwards of the other time loop? So we actually botch it on purpose and go backwards in time.
No,
You
no,
do have to get back into.
No.
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 My ancestors really don't think that's how it's going to happen. Although that might make an interesting story of some sort.
I don't need ancestors to say that sounds like a really dumb idea.
Well, then I figured if we go back in time, then we'd have to come back to the future.
Again, that sounds like it would make a really interesting and fantastical story. Perhaps in a pulp paperback or a stage play of some sort.
We'll have to work on that.
All right. What did Templeton roll? I see that Abraxas rolled 29, so there's just going to be Secrets of the Universe unlocking here.
Well, if I did investigation, it was 29, and if I did insight, it was 30. I also had a 19 on the die.
Word.
Two of us together, I think, just solved world hunger.
Okay. So it certainly looks like the vial is supposed to be inserted into the indentation. The indentation is perfectly sized for the vial in your possession. In order to actually activate it, there are 4 pillars, and each pillar must be activated according to an element. The elements are fire, wind, water, and earth.
Couldn't have said it in the other order. There's no 5th element?
Well, that's
He's crying in the corner.
that is to be seen.
Clearly, I would be hurt.
You'd be what?
Heart.
Hurt.
Say Captain Planet.
I love
reference
it. Yeah, I love that. Get out of here, Hart. We don't have time for you. Oh, man. All right, so obviously these pillars have got something to do with it. We can't just plop the vial in there and go, hey.
You think
gotta do something.
you think he would start by putting the vial in?
Okay. I'm gonna. Okay. Well, yeah. here we go, and I put the vial in the hole.
Okay. So so I mentioned the pillars before. Just a second ago, I didn't really describe them. They all are equidistant from the center altar. They are about chest height on a human, and they all seem to require some sort of elemental information in order to complete this ritual.
We're going to be fighting over who gets to create the fire, aren't we?
I'll do it.
I feel like when the time comes, we should really, really just let Corvex have this one.
I've already started.
From here, could I try to perceive perhaps a like book or some pamphlets or something that maybe might have some writing on it that could potentially have an answer to this riddle, as far as the order of the pillars
Sure.
or whatever?
Sure, give me a perception.
$19.
It doesn't appear that there's an order involved for this particular one. It just appears that each has to be done to the pillar. So you have to represent some aspect of one of those elements. The 4 elements I named on each of the 4 pillars. In order to figure out which pillar is which with a 19, here, let me actually move you guys. Do a little drawing. My name is Simon. You know I like drawings. 30 internet points if you get that reference.
Is Simon.
Loved that show.
And I like
Or at least
to
the-
You were
do-
looking at my bum, weren't you, you cheeky monkey?
Cheeky monkey.
Actually, I was just addicted to singing that stupid line over and over again. Yes. And there you found the picture that I've been scrolling through these gifts trying to find. I'm like, just give me what I'm looking for, and it gives me everything else.
Oh, that one's tough. I don't know if you can see that one.
Oh, that color's
yeah.
light. I can tell it's there, but only because it's cutting out the lines of the grid.
See if I can-
And the pillars are clearly marked of which element they represent?
They are. Let's see if I can do that.
Okay.
Well, that's what I'm drawing here. No, I don't want that. Come on. I just want the border. No. Oh, I see what the problem is. There we go. That's supposedly equidistant. I kind of screwed that up, but you know,
Close
is.
enough.
you're
Yeah,
able
good
to
enough.
decode colors, which may be clues as to which element is which.
I'm gonna go with this one's wind, that's water, fire's the red one, earth is brownie.
It must be the tannish color, the brownish color, yeah.
That seems right to you guys as you look it over. Now, what are you going to do to these pillars in order to indicate those elements?
I was gonna try and prestidigitate a puff of wind across the one.
Oh, that would probably work better than just breathing on it really hard.
Well,
Yeah, and actually, Abraxas was going to use his jug of water to pour water on top of the watered one.
And that's better than my idea of spitting on it.
I'm glad you were spitting and not thinking lower.
The Arnold commentary is priceless.
and for Earth.
Welcome to Earth.
I was
What do you
thinking
got planned
about
for that, Arnulf?
Shaking out his fur.
Probably got
I
some
was
dirt
thinking
under my
about
clothes
seeing
somewhere.
if I've got any like dust in my clothes or on my boots or something.
Hmm. Let's see if you can find enough dust. Give me an investigation.
Sure. Otherwise, I can't think of a good source of
Rocks
earth
from my.
offhand.
I've got the rocks from my. That were my spell components for my animate objects.
Okay. I've rolled a
can't-
nat 20 for a 21 on my investigation for dust and dirt about my person.
Quiplik, you're pretty sure that if you shared some of the colony of lichen on your shell, that would do it. Not
Okay.
Exactly Earth, but Earth connected.
Sure. Then Quip will scrape a little bit of that off and place it on there.
All right. Quip apparently is the first to act doing this. A light comes shooting down his column and shoots to the center pillar. The vial
Sweet.
starts to vibrate in the indentation on the pillar.
Well, I hope that's a good thing.
Sure.
Who's next?
Should we just go in clockwise motion?
Arnold discovered that order didn't matter. So
In that case, wouldn't.
I'm just going to use a black line for that. Phew. Your column lights and extends a line running along the ground to the central pillar.
And I'll do the jug of water to create just a little bit of water in the jug itself and pour it on.
Line of energy extends along the floor from your pillar to the central pillar, central altar.
Light a torch.
That's it.
Stare at it longingly.
As
Kind of forget why I'm here.
you're staring at it, the vial is starting to shake more, and it seems like it's starting to open up.
And I put the torch on the column.
That is not the sound effect I wanted.
That works.
Energy shoots up from the pillar into the ceiling of the complex. You see a line run from where you are to out the door. You can look in the next room and you see it bounces off a previously unseen shining stone in the wall. You hear mechanisms shift, and that feeling you had in the room when you entered of time holding its breath disappears, and you feel like weight and time itself has changed. Somewhere distantly you hear a door open.
I believe we follow the lights on the floor for Dragon Army.
Very good. Ender's Game reference. Excellent.
Well, all right then. Should we proceed?
Yeah.
This makes about as much sense as anything else. We kind of hit the dead end otherwise.
The light is growing dimmer as you watch. Do you guys just want
Alright.
to jump back to
Yeah.
room 9?
Yeah.
Okay, now, before you enter, I will remind you that room 9 does have that weird malaise on it. That's
Right.
affecting its lone inhabitant.
Stop
Torthan.
just before it.
Can
Yeah, you can stop
we
just before
assume? Can we assume that we're tying each other off again
Yeah.
with a rope, the way we
Yes.
did? But okay.
Yeah. Once you heard it out loud, you're like, wait a second.
Yeah. Old Dirty
Um,
Pickle strikes again.
Give me, as you enter the room, please give me your con checks. Saves, excuse me.
Con?
Con!
Okay. Con saves.
Yeah, thank you, John.
Arnold saves, Quiplick saves.
Arnold's looking good.
You know what?
What was my...
Does that sound good?
Oh, I'm just gonna cat bell.
15 saves, 23 saves.
Oh, boy, Praxis. Yeah, you
Yeah,
better
we're-
cat bell it.
Just
I know.
may as well get that out of the way. Cat bell for the same number.
Oh,
Wow.
Do it one more time, make sure it's not jinxed.
John, excuse me. I'm like, yeah, I don't have my contacts because I didn't.
Nope, just shitty luck.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oof.
We'll go with it.
All right. Oh, and
Yeah.
let's see. Let's
Okay,
have the
alright.
lion.
All right, thanks, John. Otherwise,
We're
see you
hearing
then.
audio coming through on your side, Charlie. So as you guys start to enter the room, your tiefling buddy there starts to look at the ground as if it is very inviting to him. Torthan invites you. Oh, welcome back. Are you here to keep me company? Would you like to stay a while? Did you discover anything to get me out of here?
Is this door opened?
It has opened. It has opened a crack. There's no longer a swirling mass of time sealing it.
Do we see the laser shooting across the floor or anything like that?
Yeah, it's there. It's starting to get fainter and fainter.
Gotta
Let's
get the
move
door.
quickly before something changes. Come here, Brexus. I'm gonna grab him, kind of
Yeah,
drag him.
Put him on the line.
I'll give Arnold a hand with that. Come on, buddy. Here we go. Up and at him. Yeah, we're just gonna pick you up.
Yeah, that's fine.
Up stepping
The
at them.
door itself, can we push it open?
You certainly can try. Who's touching it?
Me, because I'm dumb. Ooh, that wasn't even that good of a roll.
No need to roll. You
Oh.
push the door open.
Okay.
How did you push it open? Out of curiosity.
Push it open with my gauntleted hand.
Okay. Cool. No problem.
Mhm.
You step into a shadowy chamber, a medium-sized room with rough-hewn stone walls that seem to echo with whispers of the past. Much of this complex does. It is fairly dimly lit in here. Some faintly glowing arcane inscriptions that pulse rhythmically, filling the air with a sense of anticipation. The center of the room, an intricate puzzle mechanism composed of 4 interlocking rings await, adorned with cryptic symbols that hint at the secrets below. They cover a trapdoor to the north. Or sorry, the south, not the north. Did I say cover? I meant connect to. Goodbye, friends.
Did anything about a Torthan look older or even newer?
No, he looked about the same. He wasn't affected by the temporal shift.
Okay.
Give me an insight. Anybody who wants to look at Torthan on your way by?
Yeah, all right.
22 insight.
That's funny.
Hey, 21.
Net 20.
I'm just
I also have a 22.
not feeling right.
Oh, Braxis,
Braxis is too sad. to
your
see what's
digital
going
dice
on.
are caught in a loop of BS right now, huh?
Yeah, it's fine. Whatever.
I mean,
whatever.
even Red's had a 22.
I don't care. It's whatever.
Whatever is
We
trapping
got you out
Torthan,
of that room. You should get over that funk.
whatever is
Yeah.
trapping Torthan in this room is not related to time. It is related to some sort of curse. It's something that needs to be executed to release him from that curse.
All right, so you said there is a puzzle comprising of 4 interlocking rings.
Indeed. You would guess that this room was sealed to begin with, so that the further mechanism would be probably something Yalen put into play as a one last seal on the deeper, more interesting aspects of the laboratory. Solving this puzzle
Okay.
should unlock a way to the next floor down. Failure, well, maybe you do want to do an investigation check.
I don't know why we'd bother.
You can have another con save. Actually, was it con before or was it wisdom? I'll do con.
I think it was a whiz save previously.
I think you're right. Either one.
That's even worse for me.
Either one.
I'll try con.
Con.
I think it was
17?
Yeah, you're good. 'Cause you left
My
the
wisdom
room.
sucks.
Okay, so the mechanism at the center of the room, on a raised dais, is a circular mechanism about 3 feet in diameter. It consists of 4 distinct concentric rings made of dark, non-reflective metal, maybe obsidian or even petrified wood. Please give me an investigation check if you would like to learn more about this device.
19.
22.
Of all of the devices I've seen, this is one of them.
19, 22,
I concur. This is clearly a puzzle of some sort.
What are we looking at?
18.
Yeah.
You can determine that each ring can be rotated independently. And you see some familiar repetition of the motif that you saw in the temporal vault. One ring has arcane runes on it that look related to volcanoes or fire or embers. It's hard to make out exactly. We determined one of you guys can read this stuff, right?
I think
I don't
Abraxas
remember.
could figure it out based
You
on
have
what
the
he
did.
knew.
Can you use that again?
Let's see. It is. Give me one moment. Probably not. Well, it's comprehend language one time a day, so I don't know how long that. Probably per the spell.
Yeah, I think that would be
Um,
it.
At this point, coming from the other room, probably. Let's see here. Duration 1 hour. So I don't know. Has it been an hour?
When did you use it?
We used it in the room. Let me get back to the map.
Use it in
It was before the
6.
temporal vaults. Yeah, room 6.
No, that's still up.
Okay. Phew.
All right, so ring 1 definitely is something associated with fire. Ring 2, ringy ding 2, is not air. Instead, air has been replaced with ice. Are you in? Ring 3 bears symbols of earth, depicting mountains, roots, gemstones, cracked earth. Ring 4, I shouldn't have said air was replaced. Instead, ring 4 is actually the air ring. Water was replaced here. You see pictures of swirling winds, feathers, floating, clouds, lightning bolts, anything that sort of reminds you of movement through the sky. Around the edge of the mechanism, there are 4 distinct unadorned marks, small indentations, which appear to have unglowing runes on them. They are positioned at the cardinal directions, north, south, east, west. You would guess that the rings must be rotated and placed according to the right cardinal direction and the right mark on that.
So how do each element relate to each of the directions?
I feel like we had a puzzle like this way back.
We did. And I think that was back in that wizard's hectagon.
Oh yes, the sixagon.
Yes. The sixagon.
I would just say that currently your attention or investigation has been focused on this device. So if you wish to examine anything else, that would be a separate check.
Sure.
Is there anything else obviously in the room?
Yeah, I'll look for note or anything around the room that would give
Like paintings
yeah.
or
Codes, pamphlets.
or a
Poetry.
book that says
Instruction
instructions on how
manual.
to use rings.
I got a 18.
18.
How to serve man. Or
Yeah.
to serve man, rather.
Ironic.
Templeton, you don't find exactly an answer, but you do find the beginning of something that might be worth the group tracking down. There is a faded inscription on the walls, but it is covered over, hard to make out.
Hey, those guys. Over here, look.
Put a breakfast on. Don't make out with anything.
Probably. Well, what you got there?
Hey, what'd you find, Templeton?
Uh, I'm not sure exactly what it is. It looks like it could be some notes, instructions, something here. It's all kind of covered over and. Eh?
Oh, yeah. Let me take a look at that. I will investigate, I suppose. A 19.
What languages do you speak? Quiplic?
Quiplic speaks Common, of course, but also Aquan, Leonin, and Druidic.
This most closely resembles Druidic. It is not Druidic, it is very much arcane, but you recognize some similarities in meaning here. You might be able to guess.
I'm not sure that I can properly make it out, although some of these symbols resemble the secret language of the Druids. It's some kind of arcane script. Abraxas, perhaps you should take a look at this. You have an interest in magical doings.
Yeah, I can take a look, but I don't know if I know much about druidics.
You have. What are you doing?
I mean, I guess since I still have some time left, I'll see if I can still comprehend it.
Yeah, I didn't want to say
Sorry.
that in character, but
Yeah,
you do
yeah.
still have to comprehend language.
I am dumb.
This appears to be the obituary of a newspaper.
Abraxas?
And the funny pages.
You decode, and you kind of wipe away the grunge and ska from the walls to. I was like grunge, that's not the right word. To uncover more of the script for your magically improved comprehend languages, and the message is balance in all things. Let no opposing pairs touch. The news starts at the top of the hour, must be followed around the clock.
What was the last part?
The news starts at the top of the hour and must be followed around the clock.
All right, so no opposing pairs touch would mean that you don't want fire and ice next to each other. So they would have to be on opposite ends. Same with earth and water. I don't know about that news thing, though.
East, west, south.
Top of the hour. Top of the hour should mean that you start top, and then you go around the clock. Is
Drawing might help here. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right, Quipuk, about the two opposing pairs.
Right, that they should be opposite of each other. For instance, like if ice was north, fire should be south, type of deal.
Templeton, I think you got cut off there when you were saying something.
Well, the only thing I could think of for news is northeast, west,
Northeast,
south.
west, south. That's what I was going to say too. Yeah, the news starts at the top of the hour. So
Oh,
the top of it, depending upon our orientation, might literally be north, right? Top of the hour.
Yeah.
It must be followed around the clock, so it would be north, new. And if you go around clockwise, next one would be east, E.
But see,
But
news
then
is west,
news,
south.
that's
Yeah.
true. Maybe their compass is broken. However, I still think that might be it.
What would you like to try?
What element do you think would match up with each cardinal direction, though? I mean, we've got, the benefit of a westerly wind, according to sailors, but there's also the cold of a north wind. Could south be considered to be below, down, like the ground?
I think both Templeton and Arnolf say you should start. North would be the start of it. So you start with north. What would start? So you're asking which element would be north?
Right. That's what I'm posing to everybody
Yeah.
else.
North.
However, yeah.
I mean, if we started with ice at the north, then south would be fire.
But only in the northern hemisphere.
Right. But I'm saying if ice is one, then for the opposites.
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the whole wind thing, there's a whole other. Yeah. East or west, I mean, depends where you are in the world.
And which world?
Exactly.
Who had when you were examining it? Who had the highest investigation? Was that?
Good question.
I don't know.
Not me.
Was it Templeton with a
I think
22?
Templeton might have, with the 22.
That was
think
when
so.
I was
That was our highest roll.
investigating the circles. Or no. Yeah, those circles.
Oh, this.
Yeah, I think that's what
Yes.
Chris means. Yeah.
So I will tell you this: from your investigation of the device earlier, Templeton, you would think that you wouldn't be locked out by getting the answers wrong, but there might be consequences.
Goody.
What do you mean consequences? Like losing time? We ain't got time to lose time.
Or maybe we'll have to fight some more ghost mummies. I don't know. Robot ghost mummies. Just trying to think of all the enemies we've faced so far.
Coming this fall.
I'd watch that.
I don't know. My strength isn't the thinking thing. I'm more of the doing. So I probably shouldn't
Yeah.
be the one to say this.
Go ahead.
No, that's literally where I'm stopping. So I
Okay.
shouldn't be the one to say this.
I think your investigation has revealed that you're going to have to experiment here.
All right. Well, I feel like assuming that north is related to ice and south to fire is as good a place to start as any. Now it is just a question, I think, for our first attempt here. Which elements should be east and west?
Well,
And any thoughts there?
I would
way-
guess
which way-
perhaps air would or wind would be east and wood would be west.
Okay. Can anyone make ice? Oh wait, I can chill.
Well, we don't have to. Well, we don't have to do that, right?
I
We can
thought this
we
one
can
was
just move
positioning the yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah, this is in the 5 elements again. 5th element.
This one's just elementally themed.
Okay.
So, what did you suggest again? Oh, I just want to jot it down.
Ice
The
north.
earth. Let's see, what was it? Fire. There was fire, water, earth, and ice.
Fire,
Yeah.
fire, ice, earth, and air were how I read it originally.
Ice.
So I will stick to that. Originally.
Okay.
Yeah.
So earth west, air east.
Okay. And you're jotting that down, John?
Yeah. What about the other two directions?
Ice
We were
north.
going to go ice north, fire south
Okay.
for our first attempt.
Got it.
Okay. Are you just doing this one at a time, or are you each taking a?
Time starting north and then going clockwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one at a time in sequence.
Yeah. Start at the
Who's
top.
manipulating the devices? Who's doing what?
Oh. Oh, there's
I'll grab
six of us.
ice. Why not?
I'll grab earth, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, I could do fire then.
Sure. I'll grab air.
So it's nice, spire, air, and worth. Okay.
All right. So starting at the north, is that correct?
Yep.
Whoever is manipulating ice, you click the dial, spin the dial until the ice iconography clicks into place. What was next?
If we're gonna go around clockwise, that would be east, right?
Okay.
And that was air, so that's me.
Abraxas, you click the dial for air into the eastern cardinal direction.
Okay.
Who's doing fire?
That was Quiplik.
Quiplik, you manipulate the dial for fire into the southern cardinal direction. And I believe Earth was Arnoff.
Yeah.
You click that into the western direction. Please give me Constitution saving throws.
Oh boy.
Oh, okay. Joy.
Oh, gentleman's 20.
Gentleman's 20.
I'm gonna bell that.
Okay.
Hey,
Freaking
and that
that one
20.
on one of those things.
Hey, nice, Abraxas. I got
Finally.
a 23. Ooh, Arnoff, way better the second time.
Corvex, you're going to stand on that 11?
Yeah.
Okay. The room fills with swirling, crackling energy. It lances through the air into each of you, zapping at your vitality. everyone fights it off except for poor Corvex. Corvex, you suffer 1 level of exhaustion.
Oh.
Let's see. And somebody please roll me a d4.
No.
I can do it myself.
That sounds like
I know.
we're dooming Corvex.
Um,
2.
I got 2 for two. 2 is the first.
Who is the number? The number shall be 2.
Let's see. I forgot to look this up. And from the cold part of it, the ice side of it, a ray of frost shoots out and bounces around the room. I'm going to roll a d20. And it misses everybody. So I rolled a 2. All the dials spin back into position that you found them originally. That was a failure, if that wasn't clear.
I think we should just put them back into the exact same positions.
Certainly a
kidding.
choice.
Just kidding.
Out of
All right.
defiance, we demand that it is the correct answer.
I demand to speak to this room's manager.
You tell it, Arnold.
All right. Well, what I'm thinking is we should only change one thing at a time, right? We don't want to
Just
swap.
kind of adjust it backwards, so fire on top, ice on bottom, earth is east, and air is west.
No, you're saying the opposite of what I'm saying. I think we should only change one of the combinations at a time. What if one of them was correct, but the other one wasn't? That's what I was saying. Or we
for instance-
could change both.
What do you propose? I think you'd have to change both since they're in pairs, right? So, like, even if you wanted to change, say, north to something, you'd have to change its opposite.
Well, what if it's just like east and west are reversed?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, okay. I'm agreeing with you, Kuplik.
This
Okay.
makes sense.
So leaving north and south the same, and swapping the east and the west.
Second try.
That sounds fine.
North, south, the same. Switch east and west. Got it.
I hope this works.
So please tell me what is the new order. So to the north, we're going to have what?
North is still ice, going around clockwise. East would now be earth. South is still fire. West is now air.
Okay. As you click the northern dial into ice, it makes a clicking noise and locks in. As you move the earth dial to the east, a scent of where is it? Of freshly dug dirt fills the air right near the dial. So whoever set that, you smell that. To the south, you click fire into place. And to the west, whoever clicks that one, you get a sudden little puff of air. Please give me Constitution saving. No, I'm sorry. Give me Dexterity saving throws.
There
Uh-huh.
it shows.
It's at least
Mixing it
easier for me.
15.
19.
19 saves. 14 fails. 18 saves.
I'm gonna cat bell this 11.
20 saves.
Please roll better.
15 fails. 19
Okay,
saves.
I'm a 19 instead.
What did I roll? If you failed your roll, you take 19 force damage. If you saved, you took half that. Rounded up.
Ooh, what just hit us?
A burst of chaotic energy erupted from the device and slammed into each of you. Some of you were able to mitigate the effects.
Yeah.
How much damage
Ouch.
did you say?
19.
19?
19.
19 if you failed, half of that if you saved. So that'd be 10 if you saved.
So I'm thinking from this pain I'm feeling that we still got two of them wrong.
Yeah, the dial's reset.
So, so I'm thinking we need to
Yes.
make.
So whoever was on east and west though would have noticed those that sensory input that had not happened previously.
Correct.
Swap
we
the other
think
two.
East and West should be correct then, right?
So I'm
Yeah.
going.
Yep.
That makes sense to my way of thinking.
So North should be fire and South should be ice for the next try.
As you click the dial to the north for fire, you get a pleasantly warm sensation radiating up from the dial. Earth again gives you that nice, freshly dug earth smell. This time, as you manipulate the dial into the south to ice, you get a refreshing breeze. Well, not really a breeze, but a refreshing chill, not anything painful. Just ooh, ooh. And then again to
Yes,
the
damn it.
west with the air, you feel a little puff of air. Mechanisms. Things, gears, arcane and ancient, long unoiled, grown into effect, revealing a staircase leading down.
Ooh.
However, it is 9:55. We did get a little bit of a late start tonight. What say you? I think it would be up to Bob and Rid, maybe, and Tim. I don't know. It's up to all of you, really. But I know
Let's
Bob is an especially early morning.
see what's in the next room and call it.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, that sounds good for me.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
All right.
Unless there's a sudden cascade of gems right now.
Goodbye, friends. You've got further than anyone I've seen yet. Think of old me here sometime.
So if we find an answer, we'll be sure to remember.
Remember what?
The answer
That's
is
the spirit.
He's like the knight in the Last Crusade that raises up his hand as the whole temple's collapsing.
I think I used that the first time we ran into this guy.
I think it did.
Ah, crap. The room's full of Daleks.
I don't know what your marching order is, so I'm just going to kind of randomly. Do this. A faint metallic echo reverberates through the entrance here, hinting at the mechanical guardians that might stir from their slumber deep within. The air grows thick with a scent of rust and old oil, a reminder of forgotten innovations that once thrived here, a sign of the dangers that still linger. As you step closer, A shimmer of arcane energy flickers at the threshold, marking the presence of powerful magic that requires your care to pass safely. 4 robots whir to life as you enter. They are much like early prototypes, early versions. You can see a passing familiarity with the worker bots you saw in the room that you were in at the top of the Wutani building. They spin up, and you see hands, normally hands that are used for work, start to spin and twitch as they start to close in on you. And that's where we're going to leave it for this evening. There are doors to the east and the west and the south. Right.
Oh,
Welcome to level 2 of the dungeon.
Woo.
any way to assess if time has suddenly passed? Especially since we solved not this most recent puzzle, but the last puzzle, the one before that.
Just to clarify that the temporal vault puzzle was simply to remove the time lock on the door.
I figured, but I was just
You didn't
making
get
sure.
any time, you didn't get any time back. You didn't lose any time.
Okay.
You know this because you're about as hungry as you've been. I mean, you're getting hungrier the longer this takes because you guys haven't stopped to
Yeah.
eat. Thirsty, have to use the bathroom, that sort of thing. You know, the sort of biological clues that time is passing. A little bit more fatigue, especially for Corvex.
I was actually hoping we got a little bit of time back since we got it.
This is going to be a tricky one. There's not particularly... I mean, you can always attempt to do a short rest. You might be able to spare an hour someplace.
I don't think so.
Not yet, anyways.
Not with all this wibbly wobbly timey-wimey stuff.
Yes.
Well, that will have to wait till next Wednesday for more resolution, see how the things play out. It looks like you might have a fight on your hands, but we'll see. This Sunday on the Oddlot YouTube channel, we should have more Kingdom of Steam. Am I right, boys, with that?
Yes.
I don't
Pretty
I-
sure, yeah.
I don't think anybody was out. The only thing person I think might be out would be Katie or maybe Tucker.
I think
I
This
think
could
someone
be
might
the
be out,
weekend
but I
that
think
Katie's
we're gonna do the
got
weird train
stuff.
thing.
Yeah, if
But
this one
yeah,
person's out,
we'll still do a
train.
weird train episode.
Okay. So that'll happen. That should happen unless there's an illness or something like that. Monday, hopefully we're back with more Pathfinder 2E. And next Wednesday, as I
Cool.
said, we'll be back with more Aetherflux Hunters on this CT Avis YouTube channel. Please join our Discord. The link is in the description below. Also, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate that. Helps the channel to grow. And we will catch everybody later. Goodbye, everybody.